heard about what happened in Egypt. How did you feel when you heard about the Alexandria bombing?
I was extremely shocked and devastated. I thought that it's impossible for this to happen in Egypt. We've lived many centuries as Christians in Egypt, and it's just getting to the point where it's becoming an outright war. And I fear for any Christian in Egypt. Minorities all over the world, like Christians, are becoming targeted by Islamic fundamental groups, and just disbelief.
Yep. And I understand, you know, there are 4 Sydney churches in Sydney that were listed on this international terrorist organisation as threats. Now, going to church on Christmas Eve, which should be a happy celebration, how did you feel about knowing that your church and your family and your kids were potentially in danger?
I went to church, and my father actually said, I'm not going to church on that day because of the fear. There were a lot of Christians that did not go to church on that day because they feared what would happen. We've gotten to the state where a beautiful country such as Australia and the Western world is now tarnished by fundamentalism, and it's just getting worse and worse for us not to even want to practice our faith, our religion, what we believe. The founders of this country would be so devastated in what has happened, and if it continues, freedom in Australia will no longer exist.
It is quite sad indeed. Now, just one last word. What do you want to see come out of all of today?
All I would love to see is justice, and I think everybody, we want justice. We're Christians, there's Muslims, there's Jewish people, there's Buddhists. We all live together like brothers. Because we've got this cross on our hand, it doesn't mean that we should be killed, we should be raped, we should be stolen, we should be persecuted. This is what we believe. This cross our forefathers have worn in our place, our martyrs. All we want is the basic human rights to believe what we should, what we want, and freedom for all. And if a Christian were to do something wrong, then he should be persecuted, he should be condemned just like any other. Justice for all.
Justice for all. Well said. Thank you, Paul.